I'm looking for a new place to get book recommendations since my Goodreads Choice Award has been more miss than hit. I have been going through different book clubs and prizes, awards to try to find the perfect spot for me. I will be including the playlist in the description box, but we've done the Reese Witherspoon book club, we've done the Nebula and Hugo Awards, which I'm thinking a mix of both could be a really good spot to do a yearly challenge for next year, because that is also the goal. And today we're doing the Women's Prize for Fiction because it was requested. Definitely leave some more in the comment section if you want, because even though I might have chosen my yearly long reading challenge for 2024, I'm still looking for more places to get my recommendations from, and I'm also planning on doing like mini little reading vlogs, mini challenges. So we're going to go through the list of the winners. I believe there are 28. So I'm going to go through them, letting you know if I have read them, what I thought about them. So kind of giving you a review. Also letting you know if I was already planning on reading them, especially if I already have them on my shelves. And then feel free to let me know if you have read the other ones and if I should be picking those up or not. So 28 books, let's do this. Disclaimer, I have not checked the list and I am aware that they will probably be a little outside of my comfort zone, but I'm hoping that maybe they're not too far, that I can try something different. You know, it's always fun to not just read the same thing over and over again. So let's go from 2023 to, I think it's 1996. So one by one. So for 2023, I'm seeing Demon Copperhead, which I did not recognize this cover whatsoever. I've been seeing the other one. Spoiler alert, I actually got this very recently. Definitely will be in my next book haul, but in the other cover. This one I would have never picked it up because that does not look like something I wanted to read, but this was a nominee for Best Fiction on the Goodreads Choice Award. That's where I had seen it. It has been getting really great ratings. I'm seeing right now on Goodreads 220,000 ratings, and the average is 4.53. I don't always agree with Goodreads, I'm gonna be honest, but I believe this one is considered like historical fiction-ish. And you're following the story of this boy who was born in the mountain of southern Appalachia. The summary is comparing it to Charles Dickens, David Copperfield, so we'll see how that goes. I don't read a ton of historical fiction, but do like to still try, you know, one or two popular ones every year. I haven't read any this year, but I'm planning a challenge, which I will hopefully have time for, that should make me pick up a really popular one soon. So I'm looking forward to that one. I will be reading it, of course. It was definitely bigger than I expected. Online it says 550 pages, but like the edition I got is chunky. For 2022, the winner was The Book of Form and Emptiness. I have absolutely never heard of it. I actually had to look up to see if it was, again, a different cover. Never seen the other one either. So I know nothing. And looking at it, it's a novel about lost growing up, a relationship with things. And they're categorizing it as literary fiction, magical realism, which that's probably why I don't really care for magical realism. I keep trying, sometimes it does work, but usually it doesn't. So I'm not planning on reading that one unless you guys tell me that it's the best book you've ever read, but even then. So for 2021, this is what I mean by magical realism sometimes work and piracy. This was such a freaking good book. I never would have picked it up if it weren't for our book club on Patreon, because I read the first like 5 pages, put it down, and I was never going to continue. And then I pushed through and it was so good. It was so good. And it makes sense when you're told that the main character is really confused in the beginning. That's why nothing makes sense. So it's absolutely worth pushing through. You don't have to go far, like literally a chapter or two and you're sold. You're following the main character, again, confused, living in this giant house. And you're following their day-to-day life and they have forgotten everything and they're trying to piece things together. You get a tiny bit of Dark Academia vibes and I loved it. It's 100% a like vibes only kind of book. And it's usually, like I said, not my thing, but this time it totally works. I can't recommend this enough. So it is making me more optimistic about this prize probably working for me, especially as in like trying something a little different, but not too different. So for 2020, the winner was Hamnet, which was on my TBR, but I feel like I don't know why I removed it. Maybe I've heard reviews or something, but it's historical fiction once again, so not quite in my personal comfort zone, but I'm trying to get recommendations, good recommendations, that are not about World War II. I can't be the only one. I cannot read another one. Of course it's going to be sad, but I feel like at one point it feels like a money grab. That's why I can't do it anymore. So yes, historical fiction. This one is from the 1500s. And it's a story based on the Hamlet play by Shakespeare, but I've never read anything by him, ever. I grew up only speaking French, so I never had to study that in school. I know some people that were like in strong English did do it in my school, but I didn't because I didn't speak English. And it says that it's about the portrait of marriage and about loss of a beloved child. So should I pick it up? Should I not? Ooh, I read that one. Okay, I'm noticing that the website is using different covers from the ones I've seen, so maybe it's not helping me. But I have read the 2019 winner, An American Marriage. This was a nominee, I believe, on the Goodreads Choice Awards, so that's where I saw it and decided to try it. And again, it's not usually my cup of tea. I liked it, but I wasn't as emotionally invested as I wanted to be. It's about the relationship. They're newlyweds and trying to live the American dream when the husband goes to prison. By the way, they're both Black, so it's obviously affecting them. I think this is still considered, I want to say historical fiction, but maybe not. I'm just seeing literary fiction. But it's about the relationship, how they're obviously pulled apart with him going to prison and her finding comfort elsewhere. And it's a much more, I don't want to really call this family drama, but it's definitely more contemporary than I usually read. And I overall enjoyed it. I believe I gave it 3 point something, so it's just a question of not quite as emotionally invested personally in it as I would have hoped for, but it is quite popular. Almost 350,000 ratings on Goodreads, so definitely well known. For 2018, the winner was Home Fire, and once again, this is not the cover I've seen. This is the one I had noticed. It obviously caught my eye because of the colors, but again, I've not read of it, have not read or really heard anything about it. This is also literally fiction, but this one is set in Pakistan. The heartbreaking story of a migrant family driven to pit love against loyalty. I haven't heard any reviews about it. It is also well liked, but it's not on my TBR. But I'm open to it. The next one I have read, finally, 2017, The Power. This was kind of controversial when it came out, which I feel like it's the case with these kind of books, right? It's kind of dystopian. One day women start developing this superpower where they can just... Hopefully the microphone picked that up. Like electrical powered, like they can shock people, so it's only to women, so of course that kind of just messes up the balance of power in the world. And I appreciated that in that version of a dystopian world, it doesn't become a utopia. Like the author shows that some women obviously are good people, some of them not so much, and they will abuse that power. I thought it was an interesting, like, thought experiment, but it was controversial, which will shock no one. But I'm glad that it did win something because, again, it was interesting. I again found myself not emotionally invested as much as I would like, but I did overall enjoy it. I think I had given it also 3 point something, so not bad. Not an all-time favorite, but it was cool. 2016, The Glorious Heresies. It's the same word in French. I can't pronounce it. This one, the rating is not as high, actually. This one is based in Ireland. I have never heard of it. Never heard of it. Never seen this cover. You're following, it's one messy murder that affects the life of 5 misfits. So, fiction, maybe a little mystery. Never heard of it. The rating is much lower. Not a lot of ratings. I'm wondering how it won. What were the other books? But yeah, never heard of it. Should I read it? The winner for 2015 is How to Be Both, which I have never heard of, never seen this cover. The ratings are probably actually the worst that I've seen so far, so it's not looking great for me to add it to my TBR. And the premise doesn't seem really up my alley either. It's about art's versatility. And it seems to be following 2 timeline, an artist in the 1400s and then a child in the 1960s. Probably will not add that to my TBR unless you guys tell me that it's the best book ever, but probably not. 2014, the winner was A Girl is a Half a Form Thing, which, cool title, never heard of it. I've never seen either covers that I'm seeing right now. The ratings are even worse. But again, the ratings on Goodreads don't always mean anything, but... This one is about family violence to sexuality to personal struggle to remain intact in times of intense trauma. I don't think I will be picking that up, but again, feel free to attempt to make me change my mind. I'm trying to not look at the next ones. I've seen some that I have read and liked though. In 2013, the winner was May We Be Forgiven, which again, I have never heard of it, never seen either covers, although this one makes me laugh. And it's being described as a darkly comic novel of 21st century domestic life and possibility of personal transformation. So, doesn't sound that appealing, but 2012. 2012, we have The Song of Achilles, which I feel like everyone absolutely adores. I like it. I liked it. It was part of my pile of shame for a while, and for anyone who doesn't know, that's what I call the books that I started and never finished, but I fully intend to, like, just life happened, and it was on there for a while, and I ended up finishing it as an audiobook, or I started over because it took me a while, but I did overall enjoy it. I still prefer Circe, though, but I did enjoy it. I understand why people like it, but the writing specifically loved, but I don't feel like I love it as much as everyone else, but it definitely deserved the hype. Does that make sense? Hopefully it does. So I have read that one. So far I feel like I haven't read a ton, but the ones I have read, I've really enjoyed, which is a good sign. I feel like it could mean that is just outside of my comfort zone enough that I don't know much about them, but they're still worth reading. For 2011, The Tiger's Wife. I have not heard of that. Let me check other covers. Nope, I haven't seen the other cover either. This one is historical fiction, magical realism. The ratings are also not great, which again doesn't mean anything, but like it won't prevent me from picking up a book, but it makes me like think about it more seriously. It's about a family legend, loss and love. You following a young doctor that arrives on a mission at an orphanage by the sea. It's not on my list, but again, feel free to tell me that it was good or not. Actually, especially if it wasn't good, because I want to add the ones that look interesting and that people liked, of course. Ooh, that's the same author as the first book. The Lacuna in 2010 won. I have never heard of that one, although this cover's cute. It's yellow. Big fan of yellow, mustard yellow. This one also considered historical fiction. It's an epic journey from the Mexico City, a poignant story of a man pulled between two nations as they invent their modern identities. That does not sound like something I would read, but you never know. If I really like the other book by her, I think I will want to check out more. 2009, the winner was Home, which I think I'm seeing second book in a series. The first book is Gilead. I have not heard of either of those things. Apparently the story is parallel to the other one. I don't know if you have to read it or not, but it's about families, family secrets, the passing of generation. I know a lot of people like to follow family stories over decades. I feel like for me it's hit and miss, but I'm not opposed to it. Let me know if I need to read the other one or not. That's something to consider if I decide to do it for a challenge. For 2008, the winner was The Road Home. I feel like at this point I'm shocked that I haven't heard of most of them. It really goes to show that there are just so many prizes, right, that it's hard to follow about the new releases, the new up and coming all the time, but I haven't seen either of the covers, and this one is it's about the migrant experience, so never heard of it, maybe will. The 2007 winner was Half of a Yellow Sun by Chimamanda Ngozi Adichie. I have heard of her. I have read multiple of her books. I have not read that one though. Do I own this one? Let me check the other cover. Am I only familiar with the other version? Okay, no, I don't. I haven't seen that one, but I'm sure there are more editions. See, I've seen this one. That's the one I have seen. I'm not seeing it, but it would not surprise me if I do own it. Because I know I have at least one book by her that I have not read yet, so it could be this one. This one I believe was also historical fiction based in Nigeria. Usually her books are, so I have really enjoyed her books so far, although I have read more nonfiction by her, so I would be interested in reading that one for sure. So not surprised to see her there. For 2006, the winner was On Beauty, which I have not read anything by this author, actually, but I have been meaning to because I've been seeing them everywhere. I didn't even know they were a woman, actually. This one is also about a family's life, and it's also set in, I think it's England, and it's saying it's about the institution of marriage, intersections of the personal and political, and an honest look at people's deception. So is that the best way to start reading something by them? Because I do want to, and I just started doing a series where I try really popular authors that I've never tried. So let me know, because I don't think this is her best rated book. Not again that it matters that much, but it doesn't sound like the one that would be best for me to start with, but feel free to let me know. The next one is, oh my gosh, 2005. We need to talk about Kevin. I have not read the book, but I have seen the movie, and kind of traumatized. I'm not sure I could read the book. It's such a difficult topic. I'm glad that it is being talked about more and more, really. I don't think you want me to spoil anything. Honestly, I will not tell you anything. If you don't want to pick up the book, at least watch the movie. It's more and more relevant with some of the male violence happening. That's all you need to know. Yeah, kind of traumatic to just watch, so I don't think I would stomach the book. So yeah, we'll not be reading that, but feel free to talk about it in the comment section. 2004, we have Small Island. Again, I keep looking the other editions because I'm curious, but no, I have not heard or seen this book anywhere. Again, historical fiction, literary fiction, a novel of tender emotion and sparkling wit, of shattering compassion, reckless optimism. This is a lot. Yeah, I haven't heard of that one, so I don't know if I would pick it up because it's set in 1948. And as I've mentioned, I cannot read another book about that time. To be fair, I think it's because I've read too many that were bad. And like, I feel emotionally manipulated, which I know that's what, you know, books are, but when they're badly done, I'm resentful. And again, cash grab. I read The Tattooist of Auschwitz, and this one is like the perfect example of just, this should not exist. I am mad it does, and 2003, the winner was Property, which I have, again, not heard of. To be fair, in the other prizes that I was looking at, the other awards, this is usually further than I have read. I really thought I was pretty good at reading older books, and I feel like most of you would have thought that too, because I tried to mix and balance that, and I'm realizing I have a huge gap in the 2000s and maybe 90s, but I've read older ones than that. But yeah, there's a spot that I haven't read a ton of books from, and I think I haven't read, let me check. Yeah, I have not read any of the other ones, so I'm just going to quickly put them on the screen, maybe tell you what they're about quickly, but I haven't read any of them, unless I'm going to check the other covers, but I don't think so. So 2003 at Property, it's about slavery, and yeah, I haven't heard anything about it. For 2002, we have Bel Canto, which is about Latin terrorists. I haven't heard of it, but I've heard of the author. I also don't think I've read anything by them, so let me know if that's a good way to start, and if not, I will be trying them again. I could put, maybe that's what I should do. Try like popular authors I've never tried, but that are also winners from this prize. Maybe. This is 2001, the winner was The Idea of Perfection. It's supposed to be funny, really. A funny and touching romance between two people who've given up on love. Okay, okay. I actually like this cover. 2000, the winner was When I Lived in Modern Times, and it's in, 1946. Nope. Nope, can't do it, can't do it. I can't do it. To be fair, it sounds like it's not like in Europe. They're saying a 20-year-old hairdresser sails for Palestine, where Jewish refugees and idealists are gathering. Okay. Maybe then. The 1999 winner is A Crime in the Neighborhood, set in the 70s. 3 events shattering the serenity of a 10-year-old girl. Her father ran away with her mother's sister. Okay. Then we have 1998, Larry's Party. 1997, I actually like this cover. This is pretty. Fugitive Pieces. Oh no, Nazi Occupy. Cannot. I cannot. It feels mean to say it, but I really can't. 96, A Spell of Winter. And it's kids that don't know if they've been abandoned by their parents. So that's it. I think that's it. Out of the 28 winners, I have only read 4, and I've only heard, which that is the big difference from the other ones. I've only heard of like 4 or 5, so less than I expected, but at the same time, it shouldn't be surprising since they are more like literary fiction and historical fiction. And although I don't, hate these genres, I just don't read a ton of them. So what do we think? Should I do a special reading blog on this one? Should I try something else? Let me know in the comment section. And again, please let me know your own reviews of the ones you have read. Is that somewhere that you think you should be getting your recommendations from? We can talk about it in the comment section. And I'll put the other awards that I've looked into if you like fantasy and sci-fi. There are a ton in here. And I will see you in a upcoming video very soon. Bye.